Hey Tanya, this is your personalized makeup tutorial video. I hope that this helps you be able to apply your foundation and your contour products, your blush, and even your eyeshadow in a way that makes you feel confident and beautiful. So let's get started. We're going to start with the most important thing, which is our skincare. So as we talked about, with having textured skin and having some oil production and some scarring and acne, we need to make sure that we take care of the base. So the first thing that we want to do is put on our oil. So we're going to put our products on from thinnest to thickest. So our oil is our thinnest product. This is just going to help with our skin's hydration. It's going to help to minimize any of the texture, the dryness around any acne spots, and any of the scarring left from older acne spots. And the help with the moisture will also help to slow down the production of the sebum, which is what's making your skin oily. Okay, so we get our oil on. Just give that a few minutes to absorb. Not even a few minutes, at least a minute. Just let your skin really suck it in before we move to your next step. Now your next step for you is going to be your serum. I believe you are using the Ordinary serum. So I'm just using a moisturizing serum, but we apply it the same way. Take a little bit on to your fingertips, about this much, and then you want to go in and just pat that into the skin. This is, again, just another thing that's going to help your skin hold its moisture and just be a plumper, more hydrated base for your makeup. I'm going to go in with your moisturizer and your eye cream. Now this is the moisturizer that I used on you, and it did actually work very, very nicely on your skin. This is the Aqua Hydrating Moisturizer. I'm just going to put it in my T-zone, the majority, and then kind of rub that excess down the rest of my face. Now, when I did do your lesson, your skin was very dry, so we did actually do 2 applications of the moisturizer. Do not be afraid to do that as well. If the moisturizer sucks up very, very quickly, then you know your skin needs a little bit more. So just go ahead and apply a little bit more. I mean, no harm, right? Over time, as your skin gets its hydration back, you won't need to do that. But for the beginning, just go ahead and start with 2 layers of moisturizer. Last is our eye cream. And for you, I did use a brightening eye cream. It was the Illumi Radiance Eye Brightener. Okay, we got that on, and now we could just let that just kind of sit for a minute. If you have a little fan, you can fan it into your skin like this. If you're in a hurry, if you're not in a hurry, just allow your skin to absorb the product on its own. The next step that we are going to do is our pore filler. So you're using, I can't remember which one you have, sorry. You're using a pore filler, so just go ahead, take some out. About this much. It's not as much as you think that you need, and we're going to concentrate it in our cheek areas. I actually don't need it, so I won't be putting it on my own skin, but I just want to show you. We're going to concentrate on our cheek area and very little bit on our forehead. Avoid the nose, you don't need it there, so just putting extra product there will just have your makeup sit a little bit not as smooth later on in the process. So put it all around our cheeks, right around here, and then a little bit on our chin, okay? So about this much, it's not a lot. And you're just gonna rub it in like very gently. It'll melt into the skin, as you can see it is doing on the back of my hand. Just gently rub that in. All right, so now that we have our skin prepped, we're gonna go in with our foundation product. So we are using the color correcting Balm, which is a pigmented, moisturizing, skincare infused makeup product that will melt into the skin. It works very, very well on texture and on acne because it has the coverage, but it's also a very lightweight formula, so it melts very nicely on the skin and leaves our skin still looking like skin. So we don't have any dryness or cakiness, and this application will help as well. So we want the product to be a little bit warm, so we're gonna go in, take out a little bit, and we're just gonna put that on the back of our hand. This is just gonna allow the product to warm up slightly so that when we apply it to our skin, it's kind of the same temperature, which really will help it melt in quite nicely. You wanna go in with a kabuki style brush. This is the style of brush that we would use to apply our foundation. You see it's very flat and dense brush. It's gonna pick up all the product and we're gonna stipple it on. You could also use a blending bud. This will also melt the product into the skin, and I actually will end up showing you how to do both, okay? So you take your kabuki brush and we're just gonna pick up the product, get the product kind of all in the brush so we're not really going back and forth. We don't want to cross-contaminate any bacteria. And then we're gonna go in and we're gonna start on the center of our face and we're gonna work our way out, okay? So we're just pushing that into the skin. As you can see, this is the motion. Okay, so we're just gonna push that into the skin, starting at the center, and then we're going to work our way out and work our way down using that exact same motion. And you can see that using this technique allows us to cover all the acne and all of the texture around the entire surface, which does allow you to get a lot better of a coverage. So you want to take the product and you want to roll it down the neck just a little bit and just right in here, right along the ear, just to help you get a better blend. You don't want the product to end right at your jawline. Even if it is exactly the correct color, it does blend nicer if we just bring it down a little bit further, especially when we go in with our contour and our warming products. Always do the face first, then we're gonna take the excess that's left on the brush because we don't have as much to cover on the forehead. We're just making the color the same. We don't really have coverage for the forehead. So we're just gonna use the excess that's in the brush and dab that onto the forehead. And then bring it down the nose. And again, your nose does not have a lot of texture. It doesn't have any discoloration, so it doesn't need a lot of product. So all we're doing is just blending the colors so that they all mix together and match well. So we're gonna get that product right up to just under the eye, but as you can see, I didn't go directly under the eye because we are gonna apply a concealer and we don't wanna build up too much product. If you're gonna skip the concealer and we're just gonna use our CC cream, that's fine too. Just go ahead and apply it all the way up to your eye, just to make sure that that color is even. And you can even apply it to the top part of your eye as well, like that. That'll give a nice base for when you're applying your eyeshadow later. So once we have our base down, you can see looks like this. You've used the CC cream before, so you know how the end result is. It really does look like skin, and it really does cover up all of the texture very nicely. It has a great glow, and it's fabulous, okay? So we got our foundation down. Next, we're gonna go in with our concealer if you're not skipping. If you're skipping concealer, that's fine. Just skip this step. It's not something that you have to do every day. But for you, we have a little bit of darkness right under here, under the eye. So we are gonna go in and we're just gonna correct that with the concealer. And kind of in this placement. And then we're gonna take either our kabuki brush or our blending bud, whatever you feel more comfortable with. I prefer using a blending bud, and I'm just going to spray it down with the setting spray right on the tip of the brush. sorry, the bud. And then we're gonna go in, we're just gonna blend it. We're gonna tap it in. So we're just gonna do this tap, 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 tap motion. We're not rubbing at all. It's just tap, 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 tap. And we're just gonna tap that product in just in the front so that we get the coverage over that dark area. Now, with what's left on the bud, we can go over the end of our eye and just blend that down and out. Just like so, okay? So to do the same on the other eye, we're just gonna tap it into the area where we need the coverage. And then with the excess, we're just gonna blend out for the rest of the under eye. Doing it this way causes the inner eye to be a little bit more bright without having the brightening under the entire eye, which is what we did in your lesson. I know you thought it was a little bit too bright. So this technique will actually, just make it look a little bit more natural so you're a little more comfortable with it. So now that we have our base laid down, we're gonna go in with our setting spray again, and we're just going to set the entire thing. So you take your spray, you're gonna keep it about a foot away from your face and spray. And as you can see, you can visibly see the spots of moisture on your skin. That's what you want to see. It's going to dry down. You can just give it a minute to dry, or you can use a fan and just get that to dry down a little bit quicker. This is just going to make sure that your foundation stays in place for the entirety of the day and that you don't have any separation, which often happens when applying foundation on oily type skin. So this will help prevent that. So we're going to set down each layer. So our products are down, it's set, and now we're going to move on to our bronzer and our blush. So for this lesson, I'm going to be showing you using the Peach Pipe palette, which is something that I did put in your cart. This will have your bronzer, your blush, and your highlighter. Now I know that you are using a liquid blush, so I will show you that technique as well. We're going to go in first with the bronzing products, and we're going to warm the skin. So you want to use a brush that kind of looks like this. It can be a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to be this large in size, but it basically is just a big round circle. This is going to help diffuse the product and give it a more natural placement. Now for yourself, we wanna add warmth to the side of the face and the top of your cheekbones because that's where we wanna put the volume. You already have very defined cheekbones, so I don't think that you need to go in with any additional contour, but you can come in with some warmth. We're kind of gonna make a C right around this area from our temple down along the top of our cheekbone, right up until about the apples of our cheeks, okay? So it's gonna look a little bit like this, just in this area right here. Just gonna warm up that area. And you see the difference? Here we have not warmed, here we have warmed. This makes the skin look a little bit more natural, as skin is not generally just one color. So again, we're gonna start from our temple, work down our cheekbone to our apples of our cheeks, and just blend that in. Just like so. Now, bronzer is a product that you can apply less or more. It is entirely up to you. Whatever you feel like you want to look that day, you can. But we want to keep it kind of in that area. Now you have bangs, so you don't have to do your forehead, but if you're ever wearing your hair up or back, warming your forehead right here where the forehead rounds, just again, gives the appearance of natural. I know you naturally do have a darker top line of your forehead, so just putting a little color back there will bring back the natural feel of it. So there's how we're gonna look after we get our bronzer laid down. Next, we wanna go in with our blush. Now you are using a cream blush. So I'll go in with a cream blush and show you exactly how I showed you during our lesson. So just gonna go ahead and get a drop on my fingertip. And then we're gonna go ahead and I want you to place your blush right at the front on the apple of your cheek. This is going to give volume to this area because your cheeks are getting a little bit thinner, which obviously happens as we age. That's the area that you want to add volume. So that's where you're going to apply your blush. So we're just going to put a dot here. Do the same on the other side. You don't want to use too much. Remember, you can always add more, but it is definitely harder to take away. So at this stage, you can go ahead and blend it with your kabuki brush. You can blend with your finger, or you can blend with your blending bud. During your lesson, I was trying to show you how to do it without having to buy so many tools. So we're gonna use the same brush, and we're just gonna go in, and I'm just, again, just stippling that blush into where we bronzed and warmed so that it melts together seamlessly and you get that beautiful pink color. So there we go, how it will look once you have your blush on the apples of your cheeks and you're blending it into your bronzer. Now, if you're just having every day you're going to work, this is kind of where you would end it. But if you're going to an event and you want to do a little bit more glam on the face, we're going to go in and apply powder products on top of that cream, okay? So the blush is laid down. Now we're going to go back to our palette and we're going to use our powder blush. And I believe you do have a powder blush as well. So you're going to go ahead and grab your brush that looks like this. I did see you have one of these brushes, so grab the brush that looks like this. It's just a slight angle on the brush, just for applying blush. Now, if you can't find this brush, if I'm misremembering and you don't have this one, you could also use a blush style that's like this. It's just, again, just a rounded, small domed. It has a flat tapered side, which really allows you to press into the cheeks. But I'm pretty sure you have this. So grab this brush. We're gonna pick up some of your blush. Make sure to give a tap off any extra, just in case you do have some fallout from the blush that you're using. You don't want it to go all over your face. So you get a little bit of blush, and we're just gonna go right over the exact area where we already applied the cream color, and that's just going to brighten the look of the blush, okay? So we're gonna go right over the area. It's gonna blend right into where this bronzer is. So it's kind of gonna overlap right here. So we're gonna start at the apples of our cheeks, and we're gonna just work up into the bronzer. Just like so. And this is just going to give us more blush, more color, and a little bit more glam. Just like so. So this would be if you want more glam, more color, you're going out, that would be the next step. Otherwise, we would just leave it with the cream blush. Next, we want to go in with our highlighter. So our highlighter is the shade right here. You can use any one of the very light shimmers or the goldy type warm colored shimmers that you have in your eyeshadow. You just have to use a very light hand when doing so. So we can go in with the same brush that you used for your blusher, or you can grab a smaller fluffy style crease brush like this, or you can just use your same kabuki if you're just going in with the one tool. So I will show you how to do that. So we're gonna pick up some of the product right on the edge. So I'm not putting the whole brush in the product. I'm just picking up some product on the edge. And I'm just gonna go in and I'm just, again, just gonna tap that right over the apple of the cheek. Just like so. So now when you smile, the light is reflected on the apples of your cheeks, which is going to cause you to look like you have some more volume in your cheeks and some more roundness, and it's just very youthful looking. Now we're going to finish up our highlighter using the diamond technique, which is what we talked about in your lesson. I'm just going to go with a smaller brush just because it's a little bit easier. Smaller style fluffy brush. I'm going to pick up some of that highlighter and we're going to put it right on the inner corner of our eye. kind of at the corner of the eye, but also like on the side of the nose. So this area right here, not directly the corner, but kind of the area right in front of the corner of our eye, kind of on the nose, just like so. We're gonna put a little bit on, we're gonna follow the corner of our eye out to about here in the center of our temple and just apply a little bit of highlighter there. Again, that's the corner of the eye. We're gonna follow that out to our temple and just apply a little bit there. And then we're gonna go ahead and apply it right over the natural arch of our eyebrow. Just like so. Now this style of highlighting is called diamond highlighting, and what it does is it causes